Hi, I'm State Representative J.T. Wilcox. I'm the House Republican Leader down here in Olympia. We've passed the 60-day mark, and we're also past the House of Origin cutoff. And that gives us a much better idea of what bills are alive and what bills are dead. And I'm happy about some of both and unhappy about a few things too. First of all, I think the most significant bill that is dead is the bill that would have formed a committee guided by the Attorney General on extremism. I felt like that was a purely political effort. It was aimed at one side, and it was going to be set up in a way that was very unfair and dangerous. We have lots of law enforcement that should and is concentrated on dangerous extremism. It should be directed at both sides because the danger comes from both sides, and I'm glad that this bill didn't make it through the cutoff. Next, we also had some bills that I think were dangerous when it comes to rental housing and the supply of housing in the state of Washington, especially rent control. Those bills didn't make it through cutoff. At the same time, there were some bills that I support that made it through cutoff that will add to the inventory of buildable space in Washington, especially in the urban areas. That includes a bill that makes it more likely that ADUs, auxiliary dwelling units, will be approved. It allows splitting larger lots in cities so that you can build two houses where one house is now. In a middle housing bill that is a little controversial but was pretty carefully worked to do as much good with as little negative impact as possible. That was because Republicans and Democrats were working hard together and had some major successes. And we had some successes when it comes to working on creating better conditions for the salmon that is so important to the state of Washington. And I'm really glad that I think we've seen more Republican and Democrat cooperation on that area in housing than we've seen in my 13 years in the legislature. There's some bills that we really didn't like that passed, unfortunately, and those include some major infringements on the Second Amendment and infringements on the even more powerful Washington State Constitution and its statements about the rights of people to protect themselves. These bills are likely going to be thrown out in court because they're unconstitutional, and it's too bad that we have people in Washington that want to pursue things that are unconstitutional. I've talked a lot about police pursuits, and we were unsuccessful in forcing that to a floor vote in the House of Representatives, but at the last minute in the Senate, after months of the Democratic committee chair saying that she would never advance a bill, they passed one across the floor. It's going to come over to the House. It has to pass the House in the next 40 or so days. I think we need to work hard on improving the bill so that it includes the ability of the police to give chase when people are stealing cars, for example. But I'm glad that it's still alive, and you're going to see the House Republicans working very hard to both improve the bill and convince Democrats that it's absolutely necessary for our state to move that bill forward and pass it. Thanks, everybody.